just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Packer Up, boys, and it's time. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Absolutely flying into the weekend, brought to you by Bloke Beer. Get into your local, grab a case of Bloke Beer. It's beer for blokes that turn up for family, mates, and good times. And it's the beer of rugby league. The big fella Sandor is here. How you going, bro?
What's going on, brother? I'm dressed up as a blueberry today, celebrating the win. But
Okay.
No, I'm good, bro. Friday. How are you?
Very, very good, mate. Matty, how you going, bro?
Cloud9, mate. Cloud9. It's been
Still.
seriously like it's such a like normally when Queensland win, which is all the time, you're stinging for a day and then you just kind of like just trying to fight it until the NRL round starts. But now I'm just floating. It's been
Bask in it.
seriously, it's been a great couple of days.
And you get to enjoy all the highlights, and instead of listening to the podcast and the content around it all being negative, you get to bask in the glory.
Yeah, I'm just marinating in content right now.
Yeah,
It's
all
so
of the
good.
highlights, all the different like angles of different things happening, the fights, the kicks, the tries, the team songs.
The Blues team song, I love that.
Oh, how
But
good.
That was amazing. But I was texting Timmy yesterday. We were both like, we're pretty lucky. We're 2 from 2 in live shows after the game with Blues win. Obviously, you're 0 from 2. The tide's gonna turn one day. But at the moment, I'm loving the live shows. But if we'd lost on Wednesday, I think it would have been a little bit different.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Guys, don't forget, Monday, 6 p.m., the green and gold drop is happening. The Olympics have started. Get around your country, guys. Get around your country. And the beautiful thing about this kit is you'll forever have kit getting around your country. Anytime something's on, Australia's playing, boom, you chuck on your green and gold kit. So we got the hoodies, guys. We've got the shirts, green and gold shirts. We've also got the spray jackets, and we've got the hats as well. As I said, the hoodies, we're not doing hoodies for another 12 months after this. So if you want a bloke hoodie, now is the time to get it. Spray jackets, we've never done them before. Very limited numbers for everything, guys.
First time I put this on this morning, I feel really good in it. It's great.
cracker.
They look good, eh?
So hectic. I wear mine all the time when I go running. So, yep, green and gold. That will be on Monday, 6 p.m, guys. If you want a way to support the show, if you've been enjoying the content over the past few years, the best way to support it is to grab some bloke merch. That's what keeps the lights on. That keeps us growing. We can bring new people on, create new shows, do all the different content. And also, it's really high quality stuff. Monday, 6 p.m, very limited supply. Set your alarms. Be there or be square. All right, let's just get. Also, we have a survey in the show notes. We're giving away $1,000 cash.
Oh. So
2 $500 cash prizes to 2 random lucky winners. All you got to do is go to show notes, click on the link, fill the survey out, and you go in the draw to win $500 cash. But let's get straight into it, eh? Algo check. Let's get an algorithm check, boys, straight off the bat. Sandor, what's your algorithm looking like this week, mate?
Mate, back on the combat sports, mate. I've been flooded with a little bit of UFC, a little bit of bloody Jake Paul trap again with Platinum Mike Perry. But yeah, all
Are they boxing or bare knuckle fighting?
Boxing.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, mate, imagine if they were bare knuckle fighting.
Holy.
It's a different beast. That bare knuckle, I was watching, like Mike Perry's a bit of a madman
Yeah.
and he's having success in bare knuckle, but it's a different style of fighting.
Totally different.
Like you watch how they punch, they have to be very strategic because you can't just load up like they normally do.
Yeah, and you pretty much can't get hit.
Nah.
Like if you get hit once cleanly, you're pretty much done.
You see them like they're legit wincing in pain.
Yep.
It's not like a knockout. They're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh man, I just don't. I didn't enjoy the bare knuckle that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a brutality to it, and it is the pinnacle of tough. Like there's no denying that. But I don't know. It's just I enjoy the technicality of the
I
sweet
agree.
science. You
I
know,
agree. There's literally none of that.
it is just like because you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be setting up with like jab. I mean, look, you can to a degree. Like obviously you can. There is a skill set to it, but like you can't just have your jab out there measuring range and like holding your other other glove up protecting yourself.
Nah.
You can't really do that.
There's no protection.
It's pretty much when you're in range to throw, you throw or you don't. Like that's it.
There's an entertainment factor, but yeah, I prefer the skill set, I suppose the strategy around boxing and stuff as well, and you lose all of that.
I think Bam, the key difference is, and look, I'm a rugby league man, but the key difference for me is bare knuckle fighting is purely a fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, although a lot of people don't realize this, but MMA and boxing, like it's a competition. You can win on points. And I know you can win on points in bare knuckle, but really they're going in there to finish each other. Like there's no, and so I think what's enjoyable about like boxing, for example, is you can go in there with a game plan to build towards just winning on points if you want to. And so, yeah, bare knuckle, although I'll watch it when it's there, I even dare say it's a little bit too brutal.
Yeah, no, you know what I was saying. I love my boxing. I love my UFC. There's some cracky UFC cards coming up too.
Oh,
Tell you
mate.
what I'd love. I'd love to get around that one, the Sphere.
Oh, that's, mate.
How good
Have
would
you
that
seen the
be,
Sphere
bro?
in real life?
Yeah, I've seen it, only from the outside.
Yeah, yeah.
But how good would that be, bro?
Oh, mate, it will be one of the greatest events of all time.
$1,000 a ticket too.
I'm going to probably more. I'm going to Perth for the I think it's UFC 304 at Adesanya versus Duplessis.
Timmy Zoo back on the algorithm too. He's
Yes, Timmy Zoo. He's
I
back.
just love the way he carries himself. You know, he is humble to agree, but he's also aggressively saying like, "Hey, I am the best. I want to fight the best." I love him. I think he's nailed it. He's
a warrior.
Everything. He's the best.
He's a warrior. Like he's an old school boxer. Because he could have easily backed out. Like when that fight, when he got cut, he could have said, then his record would have been sweet.
100.
He would have got the rematch. He probably wins a rematch without that cut.
And he's fighting a huge name.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Timmy Zooey's back in the algo. Matty, what's the algorithm for you, mate?
I had a very, very, very enjoyable last Friday night when Eminem's album dropped. It dropped at 2 o'clock. It dropped at 2 o'clock, but me and Courtney, that's how we kind of met and bonded over Eminem. So I promised I wouldn't listen to anything. It was a tough 4 hours, but after work, went to hers, jumped in the car, sat in actually the garage.
Yeah, create a visual for us. Like, where were you?
Yeah, so we sat in the garage like of her apartment block and just in the car, obviously, because that's the best sound, and just listened to the album from top to bottom. It took about just over an hour. We only stopped once. We stopped after the Skylar Grey song because it was pretty hectic. It was emotional. So we're like, all right, I need a break to like talk about it.
I love it.
And then the next day I was like, it was my first listen. The next day I'm like, all right, I'm going to walk the dog. So I walked the dog for an hour and 10 minutes or whatever it was, listened to it again. And then all week I've just been, if I said I was marinating in Origin content, I was absolutely marinating in Eminem album content, people rating it, people reacting to it, people reviewing it, giving their ratings of songs, all that stuff.
What's it out of 10?
Stoked. I absolutely loved it, and I still can't stop listening. What do you think?
On the way home too.
Well, what's your favourite track? What would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard, like, to give it a solid rating right now. But I only think there's 2 songs on it which I don't really go back to.
Yeah, what's those?
To be fair, I haven't given it a chance yet. So, like, it's mainly the top 7 are just elite. Probably Evil's my favorite, or Fuel.
Yeah, Fuel's. I like Fuel.
Fuel's
What's the
unreal.
ones you don't like that you don't play?
The one with Easy Mill, I think that's Head Honcho. And then the one after Temporary, I can't remember what it's called, but I listened to that actually this morning. I thought, actually, this one isn't bad. So yeah, the one with Easy Mill is the one I haven't really gotten around.
Oh, okay.
But the rest,
out of 10, what we rate out of 10?
Oh, it's so tough because if we're comparing it to his last 5, obviously, I think it's the best. Probably best since, it's in the conversation with Relapse and Recovery. I think like that kind of.
What would you rate it out of 10?
If Eminem shows 10. And Marshall Mathers 9.5, I'd probably give it 7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it's a good album. It's a good album. I think that I think he went a little, like, he kept repeating the same kind of punchlines with Slim Shady a little bit too much, like maybe once or twice too many. And I understand the concept. It's Slim Shady. He says offensive stuff. So I got no issues with the offensive stuff. That's part of the art. He went a little. He said it just 1 or 2 times too many. But outside of that, I thought, like, sonically, I thought the theme of the album was really good. It's like what I'm a bit like, people keep saying it's like his Music to Be Murdered By and Kamikaze and that haven't been good. I've liked those.
I've loved Music to Be Murdered By.
So I don't know. I don't get that. But from an album, like, quality of genuine, like, theme, front to start to finish, it's a really good album. Like, it's really, really good. You can see he's back to form. His rapping is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
It's like the fact that he can still hold his own against a guy like Jid on Fuel. Jid's in his prime right now. Everyone's loving him. He's the hot guy at the moment. And Eminem can still not only hold his own, but probably out-rap him. just shows you how good he is. Like, there's not many rappers that would get one of the hottest. I say underground. Jiz's not really underground, but he is the it guy at the moment when it comes to lyrics. There's not many rappers at Eminem's age that would go, you know what, I'm willing to go toe to toe with you. When he's 25 years into the game at the moment. So yeah, I really liked it. I think the best song is probably Antichrist. Like,
how good's Antichrist?
Lyrically,
I love Antichrist.
he just absolutely goes insane. Lucifer's pretty good.
Yeah, Lucifer was good.
Yeah.
Temporary is obviously extremely heartfelt about his daughter, and as a parent now, you can kind of feel a little bit more. I don't like Road Rage. I think the message is quite poignant in regards to taking care of yourself and all that. I'd agree with that. The song sonically though, I don't really like it that much, even though there's a high skill set. Lucifer's pretty good. Evil's decent. Habits is good. I'm just trying to
Renaissance, it was a strong start.
Strong start. Love the start. That was like...
Yeah, I like the start.
Because like sometimes I get a bit over... Like, I do understand the criticism of his new kind of flow where it's quite choppy. And I like the Renaissance start because it's a smooth flow, just like rapping really easy, nice. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10, which is like within like the fact that this bloke this far into his career can still drop albums and be at the top is crazy. Like for example, if Jay-Z dropped an album right now, he wouldn't go anywhere near the appeal that Eminem has. Now, granted, I understand there's reasons for that. Like I get that Eminem's audience is different to Jay-Z's. I get all that. But there are very, very few artists in any genre that can be this strong for this long for 20 years.
And he'll always be relevant because of his skill set.
Because he's so good. Yeah. And also, he's never... What's incredible at Eminem, he's never sacrificed his artistic authenticity by jumping on new waves. Like a guy like Drake, for example. Drake's a great artist. There's no denying he makes massive pop hits. No denying that. But the reason for his longevity is A, other people write for him, and B, he jumps on trends.
Yeah.
That's why everyone sits there and goes, oh, wow, Drake, it's incredible he's gone this long in hip hop. But it's because Drake's really the first person that's been able to be seen as a hip hop artist. And for people listening, I'm putting air quotations up because most hip hop artists would refuse to jump on trends, to change flows, to get other people to write for them because there is a creative integrity. Whereas Eminem, the fact that he is still here and he doesn't have people write for him, doesn't jump on trends, is still true to his skill set, it's genuinely mind-blowing. What's
the one song, bro? You know how you listen to an album, you smack it, and then over the next week, couple months, you're like, oh, that was gold, or you start to like it. What's the one song that you reckon, go back and listen to it a couple more times and you'll love it? What do you reckon?
Look, I just think Antichrist is like...
Antichrist, all right.
Seriously, the skill set and his rhyme schemes and all that kind of stuff in Antichrist are actually crazy. So I'm just looking at it now. I understand the brand new dance. I understand it was made in 2004, so I get it. It sonically for me did not like it. It was just like,
Encore as an album, there's some great songs on it, but as an album, it's pretty bad. It's a pretty very, very below average album.
Didn't mind Guilty Conscience, so it wasn't.
I loved Guilty Conscience.
Yeah, it's okay. It's decent.
But yeah, the sound from Encore, it just reminded me of Encore. And I liked this. I liked the song. I thought it was funny, but Encore as an album was average, and it just sounded like an Encore song.
Yeah, and so good album. 7.5, I'd give it 7 to 7.5. And as I said, the fact that he's 20 years in or 25 years in, and I'm this keen, and I will sit through a whole album of him rapping is incredible. Now, I do hope he really has killed Slim Shady. I never want to hear from Slim Shady again just because of his age. And I want Eminem's next album. Look, I know it's not going to sell much, and I know a lot of people go, oh, I don't care about that, the younger audience, but I want Eminem's next album to be wrapped from where he is right now about the problems that he deals with right now.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
About fatherhood, about the fame that he's currently in. I don't want to hear from Slim Shady again.
Well, I think... purely because 50 Cent and Dre both said they have featured on it and didn't feature, I reckon we might get a side B, but not a side B to Slim Shady, like a more Marshall Mathers.
Well, it's actual Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, and I'm praying for that. That'd be sick.
That'd be awesome because the thing is that a lot of people go, oh, it's cringe that he's being Slim Shady now. But if you actually listen to the album, Eminem is saying it's cringe. Eminem is saying this is cringe and I'm embarrassed by it. That's why I'm killing it. Ironically enough, there is a theory floating around. If you listen to the album in reverse, it's actually Slim Shady killing Eminem.
I did. So I heard the theory.
Does it actually fit?
No,
not really.
No, because the skits don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you listen to the songs,
Yep.
you can reach to for the stars and think, okay, maybe, but the skits don't make sense.
Yeah, because I didn't think and it's quite a prominent theory that's been floating around. I'm like, yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. But look, bloody good album. I would love to hear him rap about, fatherhood. You know, being famous, being isolated like he is because he's so famous. Friendships that have failed with him. Like I would love to hear him start to do that. Granted, he's going to sell fuck all albums. I get that, but it would for a fan that has aged with him, it would be such an interesting journey.
Absolutely.
Would be cool.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to hear him rap on hardcore old school rap beats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be sick. But yeah, the end of the album, Somebody Save Me, another heartfelt song, Temporary. Like after Slim Shady died in Guilty Conscience, I liked those two. That was really
Somebody Save Me is
emotional.
good because it's rapping from the perspective of he never cleaned his life up and he actually overdosed when he was Slim Shady. So yeah, good album. It's an incredible feat that he's still, Eminem, I know you listen to this, Potty, so mate, congratulations, you killed it.
If you're listening, please come to Australia soon.
Yeah. I'll go check for me. It's a lot of House of the Dragon stuff. So I'm getting a lot of memes, which are like memes about the show, which I know is so corny and cringe, but I still love that shit.
You love it.
Yeah, it's the best.
Can I ask, because I don't watch House of the Dragon, but you slipped this in last week and it didn't really click that I didn't get to ask, do you watch reaction videos to House of the Dragon?
Not reaction videos, reviews.
Oh, reviews. Okay.
Yeah.
I find that so interesting because I don't really watch shows that much, but I love listening to reviews of like songs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I find it interesting that's and not surprising that people do that for TV shows as well.
Oh yeah, and they're massive. They're like maybe even bigger than, I don't know if they're bigger than music, but so reviews are great for high quality shows. Why? Because it's like anything. Like when you watch rugby league be played by NRL players, you're just seeing the surface level of what's happening. So you see the end product, and it's not until you get professionals to talk about it that you go, "Oh shit, this actually
different perspective."
Yeah, that try that was scored, that was actually set up 3 or 4 plays ago, and it's just like quality art or quality entertainment, like movies and TV shows. The writers, a lot of people are just watching the surface level, but when you get people that watch it even closer, there's actually so many different layers that are being set up, or different thoughts and different ways certain things can go. And that's what's good about reviews of things like House of the Dragon or something that's really good, because there's theory crafting, which is essentially sitting there going, okay, so this person might portray this person or whatever, and it's just really good to speculate. It's really good. I mean, it's just like sport, really. It's just like sport.
Sold me on that, actually.
So yeah, that's my algorithm. Also, algorithm is getting a bit Olympic-y.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
yeah.
Have you seen the Mongolian attire that they'll be wearing to the opening ceremony?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did. I seen it the other day on
Bro.
Instagram. Gangster.
It is unbelievable.
So good.
It is unbelievable. Google it, Matty,
I
so
wonder
you can
what
see
they're
it.
like, who their big dogs are.
Mate, they look like they've been made by like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or something.
I think I've seen that popping around. I don't know who's posting all that stuff of the different countries' kids.
No
but
way.
There's some good
They're
stuff getting
so
out there.
good. Like that's something that if I was a Mongolian and made the Olympics, I'd be framing that outfit.
100%.
Whereas you're not going to frame a trackie, and I mean, some people would, but you know what I mean. It's like
I'll make it pop up in the YouTube.
it is incredible.
So good.
As I said, a couple of months ago, when like with the Olympics, I was like, oh, have we moved past the Olympics? Like
That's how I felt.
I haven't felt the hype. As we've gotten closer, I'm pumped.
I think we spoke about this, if we look at the F1 as a bit of a blueprint, how they blew that sport up, I just think the Olympics is, where's the content?
Have you been watching the Sprinter doco?
Yeah, I have watched that. I will
Bro.
say.
Is it
good? That's the first thing I thought, but like, more Olympics,
give me more content for sure.
It's absolute cheat code. If you want to develop or blow up a sport towards different audiences, like, mate.
It's got to be content. Yeah, you have to feed.
Can't do enough.
Mate, the Sprinter doco is
So good.
so good. Especially if you don't know the results of the races.
Yeah.
That
If you haven't
they're
watched that, definitely watch that.
Oh, it is. Also, I had to wake up early to do a radio show with Smithy up in Brizzy.
Yeah.
Mate, I was up all night because I just had to keep watching each episode of Sprinter.
No way.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was
It's a
like, nah.
binger.
Once you get locked in, Because it's just mad. Like, and also the best thing about it is every single episode is leading up to a race. So
Smart, eh?
you get that payoff. Whereas if it was just them following around in like some episodes they race, some episodes they didn't, I'd be like, well, I'm here for the race.
Yeah, very smart.
So good.
Very casual, like, because I've just seen it advertised and I want to watch it. But what are they, like, what events is it?
100 meters.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I mean, like, what...
World Championships.
Oh, okay, the World Championships,
Yeah.
which will...
And
which
also
will,
Nationals.
Right.
Yeah,
so...
which are the biggest things for them on the calendar outside the Olympics.
Okay, right, gotcha. Because I have no idea, so... but I'm keen
World
to watch
Champions
it.
is pretty big. There's some cash to be made too.
Yeah. And like, it's a 100 meter sprint.
Yeah,
like,
you can't beat it.
You can't beat
100 meter
it.
sprint is the best
It's
event
the
in the
goat.
It's
world.
the best. I'm really excited for the Simone Biles or whatever. What's her name?
Biles, yeah.
The gymnast. That's just come up on, and interestingly, it's come up on Netflix, and it's like got its own unique kind of like cover screen, and it says Netflix Sports introduces.
Yeah, this is the start of all that,
so
eh?
I think it's the start of Netflix Sports, which
Yeah.
is sick.
So cool.
Look, the thing is like, sport is the last bastion of the best content, I reckon. Like, all these other content like come and go, like reality TV comes and goes, and it's hard to make a hit. But sport, it's just like, it's the last bit of realness, really. Because like, as soon as people, like, don't get me wrong, reality TV is still decent and big, but it's not, I don't think it's as big as like, back in the day, because I think people realize that it's scripted pretty much. Whereas like sports,
I watched this thing the other day. I think he might be a famous entrepreneur, but he was basically did a reel explaining how sport is his primary focus investment over the next 10 years, because he believes with the world that we're going into with AI, the reality is we're just not going to watch robots play sport.
No,
like
no
we
way.
need,
True.
we need the theatrics. We
Yep.
need, so like it was a really good point. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true.
it is like, you're never going to, why the fuck would you give a shit
Nah.
about robots
Yeah.
fucking going against each other? So yeah, cannot wait. Olympics, very, very excited about. Don't forget, give us a follow on Sportsbet feed. We're going to have some multis up soon. Had some multis for Origin. Very, very, oh man. So
How'd you go?
I had Bradman Best to score the first, second or third try. Scored the first one, and all I needed was Valentine Holmes to score, and I would have been a good multi, a good solid multi. Didn't get it. But I did get on Angus Crichton, player of the series. And
Oh,
I thought,
yeah?
I think it's
Nice.
about $21, something along that. Yeah, it's
Before
decent.
the series.
Not before the
Oh.
series, before game 3.
Yeah, gotcha. That's not bad.
So that got me, that was juicy. That was juicy. So don't forget, give us a follow on Sportsbet. A massive thank you to our friends over at Sportsbet. Boys, thoughts on the series. Final thoughts on the New South Wales Queensland series.
Mate, I think I just, after game 3, it really reflected on, Queensland still have such a great side, and all their players are doing pretty well respectfully in their own arenas at NRL level. But when I got to game 3, regardless of not having Latrell and a few other players, I was just like, we have a better team.
Yep.
Like, legitimately, I looked at it, I was like, we have a better team. It's stronger. And I was really confident going into game 3. Even when we sat down and we were selecting the team for game 1, it was so up in the air for New South Wales. Like, we had no idea who they were going to select. We didn't have all these players in amazing form. We were actually going back and forth on heaps of positions. Queensland weren't doing that. Guys like Jerome Luai, who's come out and just had the absolute series of his life. And then I think we would have been clean sweep, realistically. Game 1 was a New South Wales with one player down, and to think what we did. So, mate, we're back, baby. We're back.
It fills me with so much pride that, again, if you drop these two teams in a neutral park before the game, I probably would have said New South Wales are favourites because they have the better team, in my opinion. But it's the Suncorp thing that just made me think, I don't know, I'm not sure. And when it was 4-2 with 20 minutes to go, it just felt like a Queensland win was coming.
Queensland moment.
It really did. And I'm not going to lie, I was starting to lose a bit of hope. And
Mitch Moses is just a masterstroke.
he's kicking one as a series. It's simple as that.
His kicking was so
he's
good.
unreal.
Unbelievable. Every time we had to come out and get to our 30-40, he'd kick it, they'd catch it on the full in their 10. It was like...
I don't know, where's he get these extra
underrated.
meters from? He's got such a boot on him. When Bradman Best went over, like, it was my favourite motor of the year so far.
That first half is arguably
First half was unreal.
the strongest arm wrestle we've ever seen. We've seen big games and
Yeah.
we've seen contact, but an arm wrestle for a full 40 minutes at that intensity, I don't know if I've really seen that before.
And because of that, you got to give Queensland so much credit.
Well, it wasn't even an arm wrestle. It was just Queensland hanging on.
Yeah. Their defence was unreal.
Because like it wasn't like back and forth. Queensland were just hanging on for dear life.
The intensity,
it was incredible. It was genuinely incredible. I had New South Wales as favourites going into the game. As I said, Queensland still, even after all 3 games, haven't really played 10 minutes of good footy. They just haven't. Even, their defence was incredible in game 3, but like in attack, just didn't click really. We had moments that it clicked and we'd made line breaks in the past, but in game 3, our attack coming out of our own end, we just didn't seem to have the same willingness to take a risk. And I understand that. I was of that mind. We shouldn't take a risk. We should try and, work our way out of it. But that's where DC's kicking game, I thought, would give us the field position to have a crack. But we really the whole game, we just did not have that much opportunities.
Does Munster prove to be a big loss in that respect?
You don't like to talk about it because then people will say you're making excuses. So first of all, I want to make it extremely clear.
Go on, mate.
Queensland had a good enough side to win this series. So the fact 100%. That they had injuries out is irrelevant. But when you've got Munster, Tino, Flegler, Gilbert, Coates, Talangi, 6 starters out, especially the Tino. It's a Tino, Flegler, Gilbert that really hurt us in the middle.
Yeah, with the New South Wales pack, there was a clear difference.
And then you had Talangi and Coates, our wingers. They're much better meter eaters on the wing anyway. I mean, Holmes has been quite good in regards to meters, but obviously his form hasn't been that great. I just think that in the middle there, we really missed Tino, Flegler, and Gilbert. So Gilbert would have started on edge, which would have given us the opportunity to have Cotter, Collins, and someone else come off the bench. But as I said, that's absolutely no excuse. We had a good enough team to beat them. We only lost 14-4. If one bounce, it's not even the bounce of the ball. Like the little moments that we usually win, we didn't win. Like Selwyn Cobbo getting dragged back in, he's in goal when he should have got to the ground. Reece Walsh getting dragged out when he should have stayed on the ground. DCE's kicking game is usually way better. Like some of the dropouts DCE did were really poor. You either kick them long or short. He was kicking them somewhere in the middle. And then his attacking kick's really poor. And New South Wales, just every game, they played extremely good footy.
Yeah, they did.
It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't certain things went their way, the bounce of ball went their way. No, New South Wales played extremely good footy for 3 games. That's simple. They were easily the better side over the series than Queensland. It's just that simple.
I agree. And I think if Queensland won, it would have left a really bitter taste in my mouth because I agree. I think New South Wales were the better team in game 2.
The better team game 1.
And I was about to say, yeah.
Obviously, they weren't the better team because Sully made that silly decision. But when you looked at
considering the game,
the fact they had a man down and they hung on until 70 minutes, they were the better team for the series by a pretty substantial margin, to be honest.
As Blues fans, we always roll our eyes when Queenslanders say Queensland spirit, all that stuff. But you can't deny the Queensland spirit that they showed in that first half. Because I'm looking at the stats here on Fox Sports. Blues had 58%. This is just in the first half. 58% of the ball, 73% possession, ran for 300 more meters, and forced 3 dropouts. Now we know the dropouts weren't great, but
yeah, bro, that's insane.
It's insane.
And
they
we
were
didn't get one dropout.
They were winning at halftime 2-0.
Yeah,
ridiculous. It's crazy how well how good they played in the first half.
People you're disappointed. Not really. I think that they played. When it comes to effort, they could not have put more effort in. They genuinely couldn't have done that. And selection-wise, you can look at Fafita. Look, maybe Fafita would have done something different, maybe not. But I look at that game, and even if you had Fafita there, I don't think it makes a difference. That's really the only big selection call was Fafita. For Queensland. Yeah. Really? I'm trying to think.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you really think he changes the result?
I don't know.
And this is coming from a bloke that had Fafita in the side. So my ego, I could sit here and go, I had Fafita in the side, so yeah, I was right. If I want to big note myself, but I'm not. I don't think Fafita makes a difference.
I don't think so. I don't think
so. I think it's actually a battle in the middle that was the difference maker, and the size and the speed and the power that we have.
The only way Fafita would have made a difference is if he was brought on at the 20-minute mark in the middle and told to go skits, and he got momentum. But
given a license.
If you put him on the edge in that game, like I just think that defensively, eventually he would have fatigued, like Nanai did. Nanai fatigued, and that's what broke the game open. It was literally an edge back rower that fatigued. Whereas Curdy Catewell, I thought he did a brilliant job in defence. Like he didn't fatigue. He made all his tackles. He locked that. I mean, that side got torn to shreds before Kurt Catewell arrived.
Yeah.
Arrives in game 3, and you had basically did nothing on that edge outside of that first run from Angus Crichton. So yeah, like I can understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here pretending like people can't say Fafita should have been in the side because of his form. Like I get that. I'm not. What I am saying is I just don't think Fafita would have made a difference.
And I thought Fafita should have been picked. And I see a lot of the comments at the moment. It's like, oh, Kafusi got 15 minutes. Like, why couldn't Fafita have had those minutes? But I would have picked Fafita They're not the same. I would have picked Fafita on the edge. Yeah. And that possibly might have been a mistake because of how well Queensland defended in the first half. So I thought Fafita should have been in the team from the start, but I don't think it would have changed the result at all.
If Fafita, if Queensland had been camped down their end and not been able to score points, then I would have said Fafita absolutely could have won the game for us. Yes. If you want to say, well, Fafita could have come on in the middle and gone crazy for 20 minutes, maybe, but I don't think anyone was selecting him like that. I don't think anyone was sitting there going, oh, yeah, I actually picked Fafita to become on the middle. I think everyone selected Fafita to come on the edge. If you had said, okay, Fafita coming out of our Queensland's end could have had a great run that broke the game open, yeah, fair enough. Like that could have happened for sure. But like Kafusi and Fafita, like they're not like for like. I think that Fafita's spot was either, if he was going to get selected, it was either to start on an edge or it would have been Kalen Ponga's position on the bench. And so Kalen Ponga did come on to the 60th minute. So, yeah, like the one thing that I think didn't work where I agreed with it before kickoff, and now that it's all panned out, I do think in hindsight, with the information we have now, I do think Kalen Ponga as that extra man on the bench probably wasn't worth it.
After what we've seen, no way.
And I'm talking in hindsight now.
I think.
I would have picked him for sure. But looking back
now, and I think that if we had had a forward that can play in the middle, as I said, maybe it was Fafita. And if you had Fafita in KP spot and you said go on in the middle and do something, then that's where I could go, oh yeah, I could see that, and maybe that might be the right call. But before the game, everyone was talking about Fafita to start on an edge, and that's where, and I had him there initially to start on the edge. But after watching the game and how it panned out with the field position, I just don't know where
a big problem, I reckon, in that first half, considering how it went.
Yeah, I just don't know where he would have gotten his opportunity to do what he did. So
I think he might have had some success, but just not in that game. Even I do think Munster would have been a game changer. But Dearden played
so well,
so good,
so well. So yeah, like looking at the Queensland and what you would change, like man, I don't know. I think much smarter minds, and maybe someone watching has got a better answer to me.
I was disappointed not to see Kalen used strategically. I felt it just didn't seem like...
Well, I think the game didn't allow it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because, look at the stats he just read out. Like, we were under the pump for the whole first half.
Yeah. And a couple of times I thought, I swear he was parked up on the left, ready to go, and the ball didn't get to him.
Yeah. There was one...
There wasn't there?
Yeah.
Well, like,
when they were in good ball.
When you look at the time that he did go, and he had 16 tackles with 6 misses. You bring him on in that first half, he's probably missing like 10 or something like that.
It's bad.
As in 10 all up. So, yeah, as I said, in hindsight, I reckon you just go the conservative approach of utility and 3 forwards. And that's coming from a bloke that before the game was like, yep, KP. Or you go for an outside back that's a big body that can play in the forwards as well.
Even with our selections, Barnett was a great addition.
Great selection. Just quick Queensland before we move on. I do think there's a lot of big questions heading into next year's selections. And what I mean by that is that like, okay, the Ben Hunt, Harry Grant has been incredible for us. Didn't really make that much impact. Do you stick with it? Or because Ben Hunt is getting a little bit older, do you look to get a genuine new... Like there are a lot of questions. Yeah. Then you've got your DC, your Tommy Dearden, Munster situation. Dearden was one of our best players in Game 3. How do you fit him on the bench? Does he get the 14 jersey? Then you've got the Reece Walsh, Kalen Ponga situation. And so I think for the first time in quite a few years, Queensland find themselves in a pretty tough position where there has to be some key position tough calls Whereas we haven't had that for a few years. Our team's pretty much been locked. Like it's been like this is what our starting 13's all good to go. So
even in the back line, I think there'll be some shifts and
for
some
sure.
spots up for
Valentine Holmes, does he get his spot? Like he's had
It won't be a walk-in.
He had a poor year this year.
That's the difference. There'll be a few positions that won't be walk-ins that traditionally were just locked in, and then we would see what would happen. This year,
it's a big test for Billy because he's going to have to make some tough calls. But in regards to that game, although there's the things that I agree with or I don't agree with for the Queensland in selections and whatever. I think no matter who was selected by Billy, New South Wales would have still beaten Queensland on that Wednesday night.
I agree.
That's how well New South Wales played. I really think with the options Billy had to select from in regards to all the injuries and that, didn't matter who he put on the field, I believe New South Wales would have won that game. There's no one that I can look at and go, this guy and this guy would have got selected, and I feel like we would have won that game. I just think sometimes you've got to go New South Wales or the opposing team just did something special. They played the best Origin series I've seen them play in a very long time. That's just honest opinion.
I think they have too. Because like if you look at 2021, obviously they pumped them, but the Queensland side was far weaker than it was. Like Queensland were pretty much favourites this one. Like 2021, New South Wales were clear favourites.
Yeah.
It was a amazing series from the Blues.
Heading into this series, it was like essentially 50-50 with maybe Queensland a little bit favourites. As the series went on, it stayed at relatively 50-50, and then we got to game 3, and the only thing that made it 50-50 was the Suncorp situation. Yes. And so, as I said, with the players that were available, so you discount all the injuries that he couldn't pick from, I just think that New South Wales executed their game plan better. I think it.
Yep, I think they did too. And I think, not like I'm not saying that the NRL would want one team to win, but it is better for the game, I believe, that the Blues won this series because of the players Queensland have coming back next year. If Queensland won, then it'll just be like, all right, Queensland get players back. They're going to be favourites next year. Plus, they've won 3 in a row. Next year, Blues up 1-0. Queensland get all these players back. And yes, New South Wales have Cleary and Turbo available, but I don't think Cleary or Turbo could have improved what happened this series.
Well, Turbo was available.
Yeah.
Troll was available for game 1. Game 2 wasn't available for game 3.
Yeah.
So the only ones that weren't available for you was Trell in game 3 and Clear in game 3.
Yeah, 100%. So, wow, next year, if teams have minimal injuries, we are in for a treat.
And so game 3 was the most watched game in 12 years.
Really?
Yeah, huge. Think about that. Think about how many. But think about how many stars were out.
Yeah.
Think about how many stars were out, and it was still the most. I reckon next series, if everyone's injury free, imagine the narrative this year has been New South Wales bullied Queensland. Let's say Flegler gets right and Tino gets right and Gilbert. You reckon they're going to be reading some of those headlines right now, going, all right, okay, let's see next year. It is going to be.
And to our point before, for the bench, I think Queensland definitely were a forward short. But they're getting a lot of forward options back next year. So just having that star power
they'll have
on
a
the
surplus
bench,
of forwards.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. So that is scary stuff.
They didn't have the options. This is what they need next year.
And so it's just going to be incredible. But as I said, that in regards to injuries, makes no excuses. Queensland had a good enough team to win. They didn't execute their game plan. New South Wales did, and they played incredibly well. And there was no luck involved. There was no bounce of the ball. New South Wales just played friggin' good. Every single player was essentially at a 9 out of 10. There wasn't many players that I watched for New South Wales and said, you're actually a way better player than what you're playing right now. New South Wales are incredible.
And blokes coming in who maybe either debuted, wouldn't normally be there, or their positions were potentially speculative. Mate, they killed it. Frito, for me, I had him as my player of the series.
I struggled to pick a man of the match. Exactly to your point before, because everyone just did their job spectacularly.
Yeah.
No one stood out, but everyone played really well.
Yeah.
And Edwards deserved it, but I thought it was tough.
Yeah, so good. So, yeah, incredible series for New South Wales. And as a Queenslander, yes, you can look at certain moments that we didn't win, but when it comes to effort, I'm proud as anything of the boys.
Yeah.
That was incredible show of effort and toughness and, yeah, it's fucking amazing. Amazing game of rugby. All right, don't forget, guys, use code Hopawati. Hopawati being our hungriest player for $7 off your menu log this week. Use code Hopawati. Also, don't forget, KO's got you covered. This footy season, with every game of every round live and ad break free from now until round 24, Broncos games are exclusive to Fox League, available on KO as well. So don't miss them this weekend to take on the Knights. Some key games this week are Storm, Roosters, Panthers, Dolphins, exclusive Fox League, available on KO. All right, hypothetical kangaroo selections. No features are locked in at this point for tests at the end of the year, but let's assume there are. Who makes the Kangaroos team? Is Dylan Edwards a lock for fullback? I think absolutely.
Yeah.
I think yes.
And I would go as far, as long as he keeps playing good, I would go as far to nearly say, doesn't really matter how anyone else plays for the rest of the year. As long as Dylan Edwards is still playing good, you give him that jersey.
I think there was this footage that was floating around on Twitter this morning of Edwards making a tackle on the far right, and then Queensland shifted it, and then he made the tackle on the far left. Queensland shifted it into the middle, and he makes the tackle later, and then Blues get the ball back, and then he scoots it up from dummy half and just makes a really good run. And Joey was like, wow, that's an Origin run. That was in the 55th minute. And you just look at that. That's what he does all day.
Yeah,
he's incredible.
Yeah, so look, KP could come back and rip. And as I said, if Edwards drops off in form, then maybe you could consider KP comes in or Reece Walsh goes back and rips. But I think at this point...
No, it'd have to be a big drop-off.
That's what I mean. It'd have to be a pretty big drop-off.
And I can't see Edwards dropping off.
I can't see him dropping off.
The Panthers are going to go deep, so he's going to get that extra footy. What's the schedule for the...
Nothing locked in yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But there's no big series or anything like that. It's just
nothing
test
locked
matches.
No, nothing locked in at the moment.
Yeah, gotcha.
Sure.
Can Mitch Moses get the halfback jersey? Here's where I go. Mitchie was incredible, amazing, but I think Cleary will get that jersey.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Moses.
Even though he's injured?
Yeah, the injury.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
The injury, that's
No, but
Take it back.
All jokes aside, if he wasn't injured, you would go Moses?
I'd go Moses. I just think he deserves it. Just what he did in that Origin series.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if Penrith win the comp, then he can't say no
I
to
just don't
Cleary.
think, the Eels don't do him any favours.
Yeah.
The Origin, it won't be a forgotten memory by them, but not enough.
And also, Cleary's won Origin series. He's also won 3 premierships in a row. When it comes to doing enough to get that jersey, Cleary's actually done way more.
Cleary ain't going to come back and play poorly.
Yeah, I go Cleary.
It's too hard.
But I do think Mitch Moses is in the squad. Who will be hooker? Do you think they run Grant Hunt? Now, this is where I think that may change. I think Grant will be in the squad for sure.
Agreed.
And I think maybe Reece Robson in the squad. But I think that they go with Harry Grant. Even though Reece Robson was great and Harry Grant actually had a poor series, I just think that when it comes to purely individual talent and ability at 9, I think Grant is in a bit of a league of his own.
I think we're going to see, personally, Connor Watson debut on the bench.
At 14.
And they'll run with a Grant-Watson combination.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Who will the back rowers be? Look, Angus Crichton locked in.
Yep.
And then I think that you probably go Liam Martin.
Probably, yeah.
Because at the moment, Nanai and Fafita obviously not to make it. I think you go probably Liam Martin.
I love Liam Martin.
At 13, look, I think Paddy Carrigan. Although I love Murray obviously locked into my bench, but I just think Paddy Carrigan.
I love both these players. I would pick Carrigan just because he probably deserves it. He's been doing what he's doing for ages. He also killed it in Game 3.
He was so good.
He was phenomenal. And if you're going to pick just on face value, if you're going to pick one of them on the bench, you'd rather pick Cam just because he can slot in You'd rather, if you get an injury to the back row, bang, put him straight on. Just keep Carrigan at 13.
And in the front, so Isaiah Yeo, he'd probably start in my front row with Payne Haas. At the very least, he's on my bench. I'd probably start. I love Isaiah Yeo at rep footy in the front row. I think he's phenomenal. And I think Game 3 proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, him at front row is unbelievable.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I don't mind Lindsay Collins coming off the bench.
Yeah. So who else would you have? You've got Lindsay Collins, you've got Ruben Cotter. So your bench would probably be, let's just say it's Connor Watson. Then you would go Cam Murray. Then you would go maybe Cotter. Then you'd go another big front rower.
I'd go Collins. Those would be my 4.
Okay, so Watson, Murray, Cotter, Collins.
Yeah.
Just trying to think. I'm sure we're forgetting someone.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're forgetting someone.
And that's assuming Haas and
Yeo start.
With Crichton and Martin as the edge players.
Jeez, that's unbelievable pack.
Isn't it?
Crazy.
Oh my God. I'm sure we're forgetting someone right now, guys, so please don't get your knickers in a knot. Mitch Barnett would be someone that you'd probably look to potentially get an 18th man or maybe...
He could get a spot in the squad somewhere, get a debut.
You know what, I'll just have a quick look at these Origin sides to be sure. But yeah, I think Isaiah has to start in the front row. As I said, I love him there.
And Tino's out for the year, right? He did his
Yeah,
ACL.
he's gone skis.
Yep.
Just looking at this now.
Oh, he's going to be huge in for Queensland next year.
Massive.
Sorry?
He's going to be huge in for Queensland next year, Tino.
I think, to be honest, as Queensland fans, we've taken him for granted.
Bloody oath.
You know, we talk about all the other guys around him, but like I think we've taken the big fella for
The
granted.
most gangster image of all time was last year in the Pacific Nations when Tino and Haas were holding the interchange cards, waiting to run on together.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Absolute beast. Just looking now, Ruben Cotter. No, I think you'd go Cotter, Collins, Murray, and Connor Watson potentially at 14. And then you go Isaiah to start, Haas to start, and then Paddy Carrigan. Jeez.
What a team.
Haas, Carrigan. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Good luck.
Alrighty, some tips for the round, boys. What are we going? We've got Raiders, Warriors. What are you going, Sandor?
A tough one.
Oh, it is a tough one.
Just quickly, I love Origin, but I'm so glad the Origin period's over. We can just focus on high quality NRL, every game good.
Yeah.
I'm keen as. Warriors.
Yeah, I'm going to go Warriors
Okay.
against the Green Machine.
Rabbitohs, Tigers.
Rabbitohs.
I reckon it won't be a belting, but I reckon Rabbitohs on the 12.
Knights, Broncos.
Well, Broncos got they're backing up.
I can't believe that.
All backing up, which is insane.
I love to see it, but
I'll go the Broncos for a statement.
and I don't think surely Best won't play with that lip. Surely not.
No, I think Bess is back. Oh, anyway, we'll see.
We'll find out. Bronx.
Storm, Roosters.
Go back to Storm. That's going to be.
I'll go Storm.
So Storm aren't favourites. I thought Storm were favourites.
It must have changed.
Anyway,
yeah,
Storm aren't
for sure.
favourites. Storm $2.10 at home. Wow.
Wow.
Penny Panthers, Dolphins. Cleary is back.
Yeah, I'm backing the Panthers on that.
Mate.
That alone.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's stoked that they won.
Yeah.
But you know the competitor in
yeah.
him's going,
He's
oh,
coming out.
shit.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
shit.
Oh, God.
Okay, Manly, Gold Coast.
Manly. But Titans actually have a really good record of Brookie. They're like 6 from 8, but I'll go Manly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Manly. Yeah.
Okay, Cowboys, Bulldogs.
Again, Cowboys have all their players back, so I'm going. I did tip Bulldogs start of the week, but
I'm
I'll
gonna
change
go
the
Dogs.
Cowboys.
Okay. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Don't forget, Monday, 6 p.m, green and gold drop. Be there or be square. And as usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.